Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Virtual Vines tonight. We have an incredible show for you. We're going to be doing a little bit of Burgundy wines. We have a special guest that we're going to get to in a second. So we're let everybody come in here, and while they're coming into the show, I am going to talk about a couple of things that we have coming up, and I'm going to share my screen to do that. So give me 1 second as people are coming in. Actually, while people are coming in, I can talk about this as well. I just posted, it's up on the website now, a champagne tasting for December 13th. That's Sunday. 3 options of time blocks for that champagne tasting. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great champagnes in there. So I have 2 levels of tastings. One level kind of our just kind of a regular tasting. So we're going to have in that tasting it is and I got to remember my things that I have in there, but it's Tattinger and
all champagne.
So it's Tattinger. It is Nicholas Fuente. It is why am I still Veuve Coco and Veuve, and I feel like there's one more. And then in the I did a reserve flight, which has Paul Roger, has Bollinger, has and the big one in that is Dom Perignon. So it's gonna have Dom Perignon in that flight. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So definitely check that out. It's on the website.
But if you're like me and you can't afford any of those wines,
we're gonna go over it tonight.
Boom.
We're gonna go over it tonight.
You can buy cases of this versus some of those prices.
Exactly. We have it all there for you. I'm going to get up here so I can share my screen here. So, because I added a couple of things to the slideshow, and it's coming up. The slideshow is coming up. Barb's here. Hi, Barb. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it for tonight's show. Lot in store. Also, it's the last go around of the month for your hat. So if you want to get a hat, you're going to want to order, tonight, tomorrow, next Monday, you're going to want to get your orders in so you can get your hat. I know a lot of people are close, but yes, 24 bottles get you a free hat. So we're getting there. So just know that. Also, if you want to be able to comment and have your comment up there like Barb, all you have to do be fun to if you want to add comments in, and of course it didn't save, so all the things I put in didn't save anyway. All right, well, let's get to our special guest. If we're gonna talk about Burgundy wines, we can let TC talk all he wants, but we might as well have a special guest, and tonight what we have, winery rep Chloe is joining us. Now, Chloe, are you in France? Are you in France? Are you here? Or where in the world are you right now joining us from?
So right now, sorry, I am in Washington, D.C., where I live. But I come from Burgundy. I grew up in Burgundy all my life. In south of Burgundy.
It actually sounded like Lower Archdale.
Wonderful. Yes, it's an honor for me, like, to represent that amazing wine, and I always say it's a little part of my house that I show you. I grew up again in Burgundy. I did my study in Dijon, so it's wonderful to speak about that beautiful wines.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Chloe, and congratulations, Chloe, on some recent nuptials. Chloe just got hitched. I mean, so a little
hey, look at that!
Yeah.
There we go.
So obviously, got to crack open the bubbles, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for the virtual vines folks out there, I always try to bring the good stuff to Loaded Grapes and the world. And Chloe, I think it was maybe February, earlier this year. I think it was right before everything happened, where we came into the shop and introduced you to Danny and Andy, and and I think one thing they said and people say over and over, which we'll obviously talk about tonight, was, we've kind of conditioned the consumer. When you say Burgundy, like real Burgundy, it starts at 50, 60, and even up, you're right. It's just become overpriced. But obviously, if you kind of look at different little places, you can find some unbelievable values. So, when everybody was saying these are how much, and they're actually from Burgundy, I think people were just really shocked and amazed at the value and the quality of the wine. So thank you so much for coming on and talking about them tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's get cracking. And I got the presentation that you sent over to me now, so we can get this up on the screen. So let me do a little screen share here. Let me get that up, and there we go, and share. And so now folks should be able to see my screen there. If I do this right here, then everybody will be able to really see the screen. All right, so let me obviously this is what we're doing tonight, so let me slide over, and now we know exactly what part of the world we're talking about.
So please, before I speak, please don't hesitate. If my accent is too strong, if you don't understand what I say, please tell me. If I speak too slow or not enough, don't hesitate to tell me that. So yes, before speaking,
our French, so
right. So before speaking deeply about the wine, I really would like to show you what is Burgundy at as simple as possible, because sometimes we're just so lost, saying, oh my God, there is 360 appellation in France. Where is Burgundy? What we have into Burgundy? So tonight I will explain clearly what we're going to talk about. Firstly, this is the beautiful map of France. And Burgundy, we are between Paris and Lyon, around 2 hours from Paris and 1 hour from Lyon. You can go to the other slide.
Yep, there we go. Sorry.
And this is a zoom of the wine area. And I would like to just speak about little figures, saying the Burgundy wine are under 74,000 acres. I think an interesting comparison, Greensboro, for example, it's 85,000 acres. So you could already see the magical in a small, to compare with the US and some city and county in the US, how many wine, how many appellation you have on that part.
I know. And Chloe actually looked it up recently. North Carolina has a little bit less than 3,000 acres. So you see, our entire state, only 3,000 acres total. So you can see just how much they have, right? Exactly.
That's so impressive to compare with that. So Burgundy, Burgundy has, we'll say, 5 primary wine area. We're going to have Chablis, when I will speak about when I will introduce the Bailly-la-Pierre, the Crémant. And then we have the Côte de Nuit on the north. You have the Côte de Beaune, the Côte Chalanese, that will be the main area that we're going to speak tonight. And south, you have the Mâconnais. Another very interesting I would like to speak about, it's the notion of terroir, which is the next slide. The terroir, because sometimes not only sometimes, very often we said Burgundy, it's all about terroir. So what is really terroir? It's like the combination of the grape varietals, the type of grape, the mix between the grapes, the soil, the climate, the vineyard, the location, and of course the human touch, the know-how of the wine growers, the know-how of the winemaker. And it's really interesting to have all that notion to understand what is Burgundy. Is not only a type of grape, is not only a location, it's all about this. It's all right for you to see, and Dan, that's great. You can still hear me well, that's fine.
Yep.
Perfect. Another interesting notion when you speak about Burgundy is the appellation. in France, in general, we have 360 different appellations, and in Burgundy, 84 appellation. And so just, sometimes it could be confusing because an appellation could be the name of the wine, could be the name of a sub-region, could be the name of the village itself. So just to remember, appellation, it's a legally defined and protected area. And I found a very interesting map. Next slide, about different countries and how every country define the appellation. In the US, for example, you have the AVA, the American Viticulture Area. Thanks to the TTB, they're going to organize, okay, what is Sonoma Valley? What is Napa Valley? It's, I will say, maybe a little more simple than in France or Spain or Italy, but it's an organization and you can't grow the vine on your garden, you need a special restriction. And in France, we have, since the 1930s, we call the Appellation d'origine contrôlée, which is the controlled appellation, or since a few years, we also speak about the protected appellation. And again, we have 84 different type of protected area in Burgundy only, and 360 all around in France. About this 84 appellation in Burgundy, we have 4 levels. We have high quality, we have the Grand Cru, which is really specific of the Côte de Nuit and Côte de Beaune. You don't find any Grand Cru, for example, in Côte Chalanese or in Mâconnais. Then you have the Premier Cru, and then you have the Village appellation and the Regional appellation, which we're going to focus on that 2 last category tonight. And if you have, after all, more questions, deeply, don't hesitate.
And also, Chloe, this probably be in your presentation, but when you talk about appellation and the control, I think, trying to get people to understand that, unlike the New World, which is California, I mean, you can grow Riesling next to Cabernet, next to Muscat, right? But in France, they were really the first, as you mentioned, terroir, but to really control the grapes to say, all right, well, within this defined region, these grapes grow best. And if I'm not mistaken, France was the first to self-regulate in AOC, and, Italy and subsequently Spain and just about everywhere in the world is kind of emulated to saying, when it comes basically defining wine, it all basically stemmed from France,
Exactly, and I think the very interesting example is about Champagne. French people fight. They used to fight, and I still steal about the champagne from the US, and this is, absolutely. It's all about like control and little piece of land better than other to grow this type of grape or not. And exactly, so in Burgundy, you can find the 2 main grape varietals in Burgundy will be, I will say, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, but you have also the Gamay and the Aligoté. So actually, it's like 4 main grapes in the area. And for example, you will never find some Cabernet Sauvignon in Burgundy. Of course, you could again do on your garden or on your pasture, grow whatever you want, but like to sell it and to be authorized, you can do that. So it's a very interesting part, I think, of the wine, the word wine in France. So I think we are ready to speak about our producer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with Bailly-Lapierre. So if you just to remember the map, we are northwest of Burgundy, very close to Paris, about like 1.5 hours from Paris. So we are very close to Chablis, around like 4 miles away from Chablis. Bailly-Lapierre, they was created in 1972, and the very particularity characteristic of Bailly-Lapierre, it's a cooperative. So they are like more than 400 winegrowers work together as a family, and they have about like 1,400 acres of production. So it's a huge area for again, even if Burgundy counts like 75,000 acres, to like be able to have like that amount of acres, it's a lot. And the other part very interesting about this producer, it's we can say they create the appellation Crémant de Bourgogne. So again, we can't call champagne in Burgundy. So we know, like, we can do amazing sparkling wine in Burgundy with the Aligoté, with the Gamay, with the Pinot Noir, but we can't call champagne. So we just created a new word, which is Crémant de Bourgogne. So I'm so sorry tonight. I can't test with you the wine, but you
don't worry, we'll drink enough for you.
Please. Oh yeah,
well,
I to speak about that.
I mean, literally grew up drinking these wines. I mean, and unfortunately, I grew up in the repressed South where, we had to sneak our alcohol behind the building. But, you guys basically had it for lunch growing up. They're like, no. What should I have with my Cheetos today? You cannot have a Chardonnay with the Cheetos, right? So that's, it's very good. And the cheese. And what am I talking about? Cheetos. Cheese, nice fromage right with it, right? So.
Absolutely. So you're a very interesting and fun fact I like to call about Bailly Lapierre. It's La Pierre, so Pierre means stone in English, and actually the cellar of Bailly Lapierre, the stone was used to build some monuments in Paris, such as Notre Dame de Paris. So they used to put the stone on a boat, and because the river is very close to this area until Paris, you have that amazing story behind. I like it.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Very interesting. And other monuments such as the Panthéon, but the main, I will say, is a cathedral. So yeah, let's start with a beautiful Crémant de Bourgogne Réserve, which is all the Burgundy in one bottle, like all type of grape, all the terroir, the beautiful of Burgundy sensation. You're gonna find some Pinot Noir, almost 80% of Pinot Noir, and then some Chardonnay, and Aligoté and Gamay. It's a beautiful blend. We use the method champenoise, so it's exactly as a champagne, but we can call champagne, so we use another name. Bailly Lapierre do all the time hand-pick grapes, so no machine to pick up the grapes. And regarding the tasting note, I will say it's a very clean and crisp Crémant with nice green apple aroma. We often say that, green apple, especially at the end of the palate. Are you agree with that, Danny and TC, with the aroma you can discover?
Yeah, I would actually say on this one, I really like. When you start getting to the champagne, I really like the yeast on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like
when it's that creaminess too, and I think that maturation on the lees, which are those spent yeast cells. I mean, that's what kind of gives the wine all the nuance, the flavor, and oftentimes we say that's what we taste, but really what we taste is those basic elements. But the smell, right? I mean, that's why we seek out these producers that create the nuance. Otherwise, we could just be drinking Boone's Farm out of CVS, and hopefully we're trying to convert anyone out here watching or people that drinking those wines. And I don't want to throw said wines under the bus, but they'll say the Court, let's say the Court Bales of the world, right, or something like that, right?
Up over your Kim Crawford this holiday season.
Again,
so.
Not made as, and I just want to mention, hand-picked, extended maturation, method champenois. I mean, this is something where it's all sort of check boxes that even in, say, California and Oregon, with all those steps, you're talking $30, $40, $50 on the low end oftentimes. And we're not even talking about from Burgundy, which is, I mean, come on, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, which, is, I mean, can you think of two better grapes to make a sparkling wine? But anyway, I digress. This is fantastic. And again, I think that creaminess too is what I want to mention. It has this nice mouth coating. And I'm just thinking, again, this is the Thanksgiving wine, but sparkling wine, this, turkey, even if you put like a little something heavy over top like gravy, I think that sparkle, that effort, that the bubbles would really kind of cut through the fat and the richness and just kind of make you go for a second bite. So
I just want to tell everybody that on this one particularly, right here, I'm going to pull this up. Normally we'd have it on the shelf at $20. We now have it on sale tonight for $18. Plus, if you're in your club, you get club discounts on that. So when you check out, you'll just use the Cellar in the coupon code if you're in the Cellar Club, Estate if you're in Estate Club, and Reserve if you're in the Reserve Club or Grand Reserve Club to get your club level discounts. So great price on this if you're thinking you're going to be getting Burgundy sparkling wine.
Well, brown paper bag this.
I mean,
and
really,
again,
it's.
I have some of the Grand Marks that you talked about. I have some grower champagnes, and hey, I love my palate loves it. Unfortunately, my wallet, so I try to get a few bottles, 2-3 bottles, but this is the stuff I can buy 6 bottles a case of, and really indulge on. And I think it's great by itself, but. And maybe Chloe cover yours, but if you have somebody that comes over and wants to put a skosh of, nectar of orange juice or whatever, that's okay because you're not breaking out your vintage champagne that you got for the wedding. Just make sure it's a high quality orange juice, right?
So we do have a question to throw up here as well for you. We have a question right here, which was, what does the time on the lees of 14 to 16 months mean?
Mean? It's a question like, what does it mean?
Yeah, what does it mean when it says it's on the lees for 14 to 16 months?
So meaning, like you could do like a sparkling wine, like right away. Like for example, the Prosecco. You don't let the Prosecco on the lees at all. Meaning you can't. How explain that simply? Sorry, what did you say?
No, we didn't say anything.
No, we have a dog. We have a special. We have a dog that really wants to be part of the show.
I want to hear that. The huge difference is really like to let the Crémant on the lees. It's really like the same method again as the champagne, contrary like as the Prosecco, sorry. And it's just like you let the wine, the fermentation is on the second fermentation still is on the bottle, like. I don't know if it's clear enough what I explained.
No. So basically, I think what you're trying to say is, the lees are the spent, yeast cells that you talked about in the bottle, and as they re-ferment or fermenting in the bottle, and they're riddling either by hand or by machine, basically what they're trying to do, obviously, is develop that nuance. And I think, you mentioned Prosecco. Prosecco, especially the cheaper ones, they're made in the big tank. So I call it cheapo Prosecco. Mm-hmm. We've all been there. We all have ordered a bottle for whatever time and purpose, but that doesn't have the nuance to it. And that's why they're able to sell it at a cheaper price, is because they can make it so quickly. As Chloe was saying, almost a year and a half on these leads, which basically it coaxed more nuance. You get more of these second, third, fourth level flavors, even as it warms up. You get more flavor off of it. So I think ultimately, the longer on the lees, the more nuance and flavor you can coax out of it. I mean, some of the great white wines of the world are usually on the lees, and they call it batonnage, or they stir the lees, and they usually make the 19 or 20-year-old that wants to be a winemaker, they call them cellar rats. So, you want to be a winemaker? It's like bussing tables or being a bar back, right? Oh, you want to be a winemaker? Go climb up there. And hey, let's face it, when we're 35, 40 years old, we don't want to be climbing up barrels. We want to make the kids, the 19 to 20-year-olds do it, right? So,
yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, so you go over to Loaded Grape right now. Throw a couple of those in your cart. We have plenty of those available. Actually, this is the one we have a little bit of. This is the one we have limited.
Well, I have almost 2 cases in Durham. So for instant gratification, guys, go ahead and let them know. I have a little bit more of this in Charlotte, which again, if you're not in town watching this remotely, Danny's always good about picking up a few extra in the shop. But basically, for instant gratification, like just about under 2 cases for like this week, if you guys need it this week. So
I think I put on the website just under 2 cases. I think it's right around 23 bottles. So
but I have more in my other warehouse.
But we can get more if somebody wants more. Let us know in the comment if you want a 6-pack or more, and then I'll work on getting that kind of transferred it up for you. So, but let's move on to the next wine. I'll bring up the right there. We're going to go a little rosé bubbly.
Yes, a beautiful color. I love so much also the work they do with the label. I think it's just beautiful. It's like elegant and simple. I like the different color, like the yellowish and the rosé for that one. That is really interesting because you have only 2 grapes in that one, the Pinot Noir mainly with 90% and the 10% of Gamay. Very, very interesting because I think it's still a dry sparkling, the dry Crémant, but the Gamay definitely will add this blueberry, raspberry flavor on it, like the fruitiness. It just fresh, easy, and maybe more complex than the reserve that you just had it before.
I as soon as you said blueberry, I was in my head. I was thinking this tastes like blueberries.
Yeah.
Like it got blueberry right off the. That was crazy.
It's like that Blake cider, the triple jam. You know, the raspberry, blueberry, strawberry. You know, it's got a little of that. It's got the apples. It's like apples, and then in that apple, you just kind of threw some of those berries in there. So,
yeah.
Man, that's really good.
And so same method again.
Maybe for a holiday. Maybe for a holiday. I know. What's TC's
only pouring
this for later.
I know you're not drinking over there, but TC's like pouring it as if we're at a real tasting, and
it's like, come on, TC.
Yeah, I bought the bottles. It's all right.
I was thinking, and again, just to kind of fun and holiday time. Not only is the color appropriate for this time of year, but frozen blueberries. Maybe freeze some blueberries. Throw a couple blueberries in there. That'd be kind of fun, right? This is the stuff that when we start getting into the holidays, these are the things that I do with, like, you throw it a nice flute with a candy cane on the rim, and everybody goes, oh, look it's so holiday. And you didn't have to do anything to it. Right. You didn't have to go get cranberry juice or any of that other stuff. It's that little touch.
It's that little touch. Just, hey, a little tiny little candy cane on the edge, and then all of a sudden it's its own little drink. So, but this is lovely. I'm glad we threw this in to the tasting. I know, we were talking about that strawberry flavor in there. It is there, and man, I'm shocked by the blueberries, but. Man.
And we, during that pandemic, situation, we tried to think about like cocktail ideas. We saw that it was a boom this last few years, and again, for the price and for the quality of that sparkling, you can easily create amazing cocktail. I have in mind, for example, nice cocktail with like this crema rosé with like some rosemary. It's an amazing. Amazing combination, but just the flavor and the aroma just create something.
Yeah, this is delicious. I can't believe it was one of those a lot of times people tend to stay away from the rosé sparkling. I don't know why.
Well, it's harder to make.
It's harder to make.
And we talk about champagne. I mean, really, I think it's less than 10% of champagne is rosé, and they talk about vintage rosé, even harder to find. So certainly the Cremant rosé or the reserve that we had, fantastic. But again, you talk about a great like Pinot Noir, much more, it's more expensive oftentimes to grow, et cetera, because we talked about several Pinot Noirs on this show. But you talk about a Pinot Noir from Burgundy, a sparkling wine just south of Champagne, which basically are the rivals. I mean, right, Chloe? I mean, you grew up in Burgundy. Do you feel like there's a slight rivalry between Burgundy and Champagne?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, right.
Absolutely. We are, and like Bordeaux and Burgundy, we are really concentrated. Yeah, in the area.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Who grows the best Pinot Noir and Chardonnay? Exactly.
Well, this is absolutely delicious. We have it normally be on the shelf at $25. Have it marked down to $23 today, plus your club discounts. If you're in the club, put in the coupon code at checkout to get your club level discounts. This is a steal of a price for a rosé sparkling from Burgundy.
Well, what I think is great about both the bubbles and all the wines, we're going to say ad nauseum how great they are with Thanksgiving, and they are. But whenever I get to that point where I'm thinking between ham sandwich and potato chips to white tablecloth, I'm trying to do from like delicate to candy, anything, sparkling wine. I mean, and sometimes it's the most comfort food to me that goes the best. Popcorn, potato chips, salty, greasy food. Sometimes you break
fried
up
chicken.
Yes, I mean break it up some sparkling wine, and you're like, and
so
while
if you're deep frying your turkey, how great would this be?
Deep fried turkey, guys.
Oh,
I think you're
man, deep fried turkey. Oh yes, now I know a lot of people. I mean, we're in the South. A lot of people do that. They throw it in the deep fryer out in the garage and go. And man, this would be.
Little cranberry sauce on the side right there.
Oh, so good. Yeah. So good. So yeah, I will say go ahead and get yourself a bottle of this as well. Because man, I'm sorry. Thank you for throwing this one in the tasting. Thank you for suggesting it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, again, guys, I mean, this is something we've done the rosé shows before, and the rosé revolution's upon us. But if you can actually have a sparkling rosé from an area that's tried and true, there you go. We were looking for the wine.
We got to open up the next wine, and then we're trying to. I had it was in my pocket.
So, but anyway, guys, I think this is something that even if you want to take, I mean, we usually have a good stock up. So even if you want to take a flyer, get a couple bottles, because don't wait on Christmas or New Year's Eve to sparkles. I mean, this is something every night. This is something you drink. To me, you should be drinking as much as white wine and red wine. This is wine. This is a wine that you should be drinking as often. Don't wait for holidays or celebrations or birthdays or whatever else. I mean, this is something every day of the week. So anyway.
Absolutely, every day is a good reason to drink sparkling wine. Absolutely.
I mean, when you say sparkling wine, it's kind of like riding a sea-doo. You know, you can't, even if you're mad and you get on a sea-doo, you can't help but smile. I think the same thing with sparkling. When you get a glass of sparkling wine, all of a sudden a smile just comes on the face and you just can't help it, right?
Well, actually, we're going to do a pre-order on the next wine because we don't have enough available currently. But I will tell you, Chloe, we at the Loaded Grape are familiar with this because it was probably when we first started the wine club. Probably within the first couple of months, this was a selection and a lovely, lovely Sauvignon Blanc that it is. And so we are very familiar with this wine. But do you want to talk to folks about it and let them know that we have it available for pre-order?
Absolutely. So as I told you, the producer, Bailly-Lapierre, they are really well known for the Crémant de Bourgogne, but they are also very well known for that Samry. This is a unique appellation because it's the only Sauvignon Blanc that you can find in Burgundy. If you remember earlier, I said there is 4 main type of grape in Burgundy: Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Aligoté, Gamay. But you have also a level of Sauvignon Blanc. And if you have Sauvignon Blanc in Burgundy, it has to be the Samry, the appellation Samry. Pretty new appellation since 2003. Very small area, 250 acres, no more, and just a beautiful expression. Very zesty, citrus. Often we said also regarding the aroma, you could smell and feel and have the we call tomato leaf. With that kind of wine. And another interesting thing regarding the Samry, we are super close to Chablis and close to Sancerre area. So we have the same soil than the Chablis, the Kimmeridgian soil, the limestone, so very mineral. So very different, that part of Burgundy, which is again, northwest to compare with the south, for example. It's just a very unique wine, very surprising, because sometimes we say it's a good alternative to Sancerre regarding the price, especially. Just very interesting.
Yeah, and it's a nice price of $23 on that pre-order. If you like Sancerre, this is a baby Sancerre for at least $10 less than what I could even start. And that's before any wine club discounts. So for our Sauvignon Blanc Sancerre drinkers out there, you definitely want to get in on this. And I should let you know, preface, it might not be in by Thanksgiving. It might be early December. So this might be something that you'll have to have for Christmas versus Thanksgiving. But an excellent wine. And I didn't want to. It would be remiss not to let you talk about it since you're on the show, knowing that we can still get it. It's just going to be it's a pre-order on this one. And I can tell you from when we did have it in the club, it was a very, very popular pick.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you got
beautiful with seafood, for example. I was thinking about that, like Christmas, like holidays, and amazing plate of seafood.
Yeah, I definitely would say it's oyster season right now. So anything with this would go great with oysters. I also think that the Sauvignon Blancs tend to go good with white meats. So you're going to go great with the turkey. You're going to go great with the chicken. You're going to go great with pork. So definitely don't be afraid. I also think this goes great with a Brussels sprouts, asparagus. Mm-hmm. So those sides on the table too. So it does lend itself to being a good starter holiday wine. If you're more of a white wine drinker versus a red wine drinker. And I also know that if you bring this to a party where there's mixed people, they're going to grab this and go, oh, wow, this is really good. Yeah. Where did you get this? You're going to have to say the Loaded Grape. So.
Yeah, because it's very, very small. And again, you got the Francophiles out there and your family. They even know Chablis. First off, they get brownie points for knowing Chablis and not thinking it's just the box wine at the grocery store. But this is something you can bring to them like Sauvignon Blanc. That's not supposed to be Sauvignon Blanc because, as Chloe said, such a new thing. So we'll probably have it just after Thanksgiving stateside. So let Danny know. I'm sure I'll let him know, and he'll probably have a few in the shop. So make sure if you guys see it on the shelf, I remember that label. Take a flyer because I think you said 23
about a pre-order,
guys. I think that's a fantastic
on the pre-order and plus your club discount. So that's so if you want to take advantage of that tonight, go ahead and or this week, take ahead. It would be pre-order, and as soon as it comes in, we'll fulfill yours, and we'll have a couple extra in the shop as well because I know this will be one that sells, and some people who might have remember being in a club earlier on might remember how because it sold really well for us for a while too. So but an excellent wine at $23. And there it is. Look at that. I even said, did I not say it pairs well? Brussels sprouts. There's a photo with Brussels sprouts. Oh, you read in my mind.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Now let's head into let's talk about some Chardonnay.
Exactly. So let's switch with the other producer, Vigneron de Buxy. We are now in south of Burgundy. Again, I grew up 25 minutes from this producer. So all my life, it's over here. And the beautiful pictures over here, it's the Montagny vineyard. We're going to just explain after, and you get a taste of that wine. So if you think about, the Côte Chalanese, I like the map. I think it's very interesting also to have a vision of it. Côte Chalanese, we are north of the Mâcon and of the Mâconnais area, and we are south of the Côte de Beaune. And the very interesting thing that you can see on the Côte Chalanese, it's the difference of appellation, thanks to the color. And there are also little tricky things. For example, you can see on the map, Ruy, Mercurey, Givry, Montagny, which are the appellation, but it's also the name of a beautiful and cute villages. So let's move with Vigneron de Buxy. Vigneron de Buxy, they exist since 1931, and we said they are the specialist of the Montagny appellation because they own and they work 70% of the appellation, which is a huge amount. They definitely have the leadership of the appellation Montagny. They also had a very huge percentages of the Côte Chalonnaise appellation. And this is the same model as the Bailapierre. It's a cooperative, so it's like a big family with 271 growers. Wow. And another interesting thing to say about them, it's 27011. They are engaged on the sustainable process. I think, for example, they recently grow some trees in the vineyard to increase the biodiversity, like the bees, to increase the interaction between insects and the soil and the grape and all that work. So very interesting work.
Well, and also, Chloe, I think anyone looking at this chart, they see 270 growers, and they may think that's a lot, but what people don't understand is in Burgundy, because of the Napoleonic law, again, we won't get into the weeds here, but basically, we talk about a grape grower. Oftentimes, people have an acre, 2 acres, 3 acres, right, or less, right? So in Burgundy, it's very interesting areas where really, people always think, people buy wine and sell wine, but in Burgundy, that's kind of the name of the game, negociant. So again, I think that's just to kind of let people know, like, hey, they're not buying it from, as you saw from the map, not a big area, only less than 3,000 acres, but oftentimes these growers probably have less than an acre, less than 2 acres, or hectares, I should say, there, but for acres for our North American viewers here. So
exactly. So we can. Sorry, Danny.
That's okay. I was going to let everybody know that before we get on to the first one, I'm going to go back a slide here. You might see the Côte Chalonnaise. We don't have that in either. It is going to be another pre-order. And unfortunately, I didn't get this one up on the website in time. So if you'd like to pre-order that one, you'll have to let us know in the comments, and it would be $20 minus your discount.
Yeah.
So we've got a marked down special pre-order price of $20 plus your discount. So just know that if that's something you, after Chloe talks about it, if that's something you want versus the Montenegro,
which is the big brother. I mean,
big brother.
Basically the little brother is there, and as Danny, guys, this guy gives you the hookup in price. So when the little brother comes in, it's great to serve, but the Montigny that we're going to talk about, it's still you think I'm setting you up for reserve. Yeah, you think I'm setting you up for like a reserve, like we're going to double the price. We're not. I mean, it's just like just a skosh up. That's all it is. And as Chloe said, leaders in this appellation. So
yeah. So just know that if that's something you want, you just have to throw it in the comments, and we'll at the end of the show. Let us know if that's something you want to pre-order. Again, that probably won't be in until December time as well, but it's still open to you to have. So let's go into the Big Brother and talk a little bit about it.
Yes, so Montagny, beautiful label. Also, I like the job they do for that. If you go down here on the next slide, I would like to show another map, because one thing very interesting about this appellation, it's the number of Premier Cru. If you remember the classification of appellation, Grand Cru, Premier Cru, Village, Regional Appellation, the Montagny, you're going to have 800 acres of that appellation, of that name, and inside of that you have 200 acres of Premier Cru. So it's a huge percentages of very high quality. I think, you can see well on the map between the dark whites and light whites. Another very characteristic of that appellation, it's only Chardonnay, only white wine. You can't have Pinot Noir, you can't have red Montagny. Regarding the wine itself, Vigneron de Buxy use mainly stand still to preserve the minerality and to just use the beautiful soil of the Montagny. Depend of the vintage, I would like to say, in some time regarding the vintage and the year, they add a little bit of oak barrel on that wine, but mainly they try to limit that because it just the grape itself, it's in a good environment to develop a nice expression. So we don't need to add too much oak on that.
Yeah, and then that's what I tell people too. People always, I know the term unoaked and oaked, and especially as it relates to California, can mean a whole array of things. But I always say, when you go back to Burgundy, usually at the Village wine, it never sees oak. But generally, as you go up that ladder Premier, it sees a little bit just to give it some structure, just to kind of maybe take off those sharp edges. But as Chloe said, nowhere near to try to impart that oak flavor. It's really to, as she would say, élevage, right? It's a great term I think winemakers use, because winemakers say all I can do is really elevate the terroir, and I think getting fantastic piece of terroir and just a little bit of oak, it's like seasoning, right? Just gonna kind of coax that out a little bit and bring it up to that next level. And like I said, you saw on the map, Meursault, Montrachet. I mean, these are wines that I sell wholesale for $60, $70 and up, which you can just imagine what the retail price is. This guy's right here is just right below there as the crow flies. How far away is this Montagny from, say, Meursault or Montrachet? I mean, how far away would you say this is?
We are close. I will say by car was 1 hour. Okay. 1 hour from road, 45 minutes.
Yeah, and what again, as you and again, I think just harking on Burgundy, like I said, just crossing that line north in the Côte d'Or, beautiful wines, but frankly, those are the wines that you break out for celebration. This is the wine that, quite frankly, you can live like a king. You can live that Premier Cru lifestyle without having to pay the king's ransom, right? So.
That is so true. And as we go, since TC segued to that. Definitely need to throw this up on the screen now. Normally be on the shelf at 25. Got it down to 23 plus your discounts. So, God,
for basically, this wine's over 20% Premier Cru fruit, all from Montagny appellation, from the leaders, under $30 to get a Burgundy. I mean, again, guys, this is this doesn't happen. I mean, there's certain parts of the world. We're talking Burgundy tonight. We've done shows on Oregon. We've talked about Oregon. Again, they grow Pinot Noir too, but again, as we said, you can't go under $30 and get anything good. And it goes up. But these are wines, and again, not to go down the rabbit hole, Chloe. I mean, and I know you're biased because you're from there. after the fall of the Roman Empire, it was really Burgundy that kept wine alive. I mean, am I not mistaken? I mean, this is really the, when the monks would go around, they had to have sacramental wine, but they'd go to Burgundy. Like, I can actually drink more of this and just have the night. Back home, we have some stuff that's like rancid. You won't want to drink it, but we go to Burgundy. I love going up and visit those guys. They have some fantastic wine. So, again, this is like the cradle of wine after the Roman Empire. I mean, again, I'm not just kind of being hyperbolic about it. I mean, that's what I love about Burgundy and the amount of history it has. So.
Yeah, and I can. Melissa's looking forward to trying this one.
Yeah,
already. I already got people excited about it. So Melissa's looking forward to trying this one. And
anybody gets anything tonight, I'm going to say whatever it's worth. TC brownie points is going right in the bucket. I know that's just a moral victory, but that and the coin will get you on the subway. But these are fantastic wines, guys, that you just love to showcase to anybody and get them in the fold to get them out of that. I only drink this or from there. I mean, this is something that are tried and true wines at a price that, you can, again, if you're just like Danny, you guys usually don't steer me too wrong. $23. I mean, boom.
Yeah, I mean, really, especially because when you start looking at some other things, we could have been in the 40s, 50s without a problem. Yeah. And again, this is about Thanksgiving, enjoying the meal, having something nice on the table, and this is it. I mean, this is at this price point.
Something you can enjoy and open up in that third, fourth bottle, depending on how many people you have out there. And again, you're not going to skimp on quality. That's the ultimate goal. You have the loved ones there. It's been a hard year for everybody, but this is something that, again, your money's going to go quite far with this wine.
If you were to drink this at a restaurant, you'd be at $12 to $14 a glass. Mm-hmm. But if you're drinking at home with family at $5 a glass, I mean, that's really
worth $5 a glass. Right?
Mom's worth $5 a glass.
Come on.
Come on. That's where it's at. So excellent Chardonnay. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Now, how would you just for the people watching compare this one to the other one?
The other one, I will say, with the Montagny, regarding flavor and aroma, we are on white peach, hazelnut. I will say that is the two main aroma that we can smell it. Maybe the Montagny, it's more elegant, maybe more. It's a deeper Chardonnay, I will say, versus the Chalanese Chardonnay. It's unoaked, zero oak, not oak at all, and it's more regarding like citrus, lemon, and like other type of grapefruit, maybe like that's the huge difference, I will say, between the Montagny and the Chalanese Chardonnay.
Yeah, just a little bit more nuance, right? A little bit more finesse, and off camera we have who basically has to keep us in control, Miss Vanna Wines over here.
There's always a woman behind.
She's got to. She keeps us under control. She keeps. She's the producer. She basically. She's the one.
She's the one. Going.
Anyway, I just wanted to say she's oohing and ahhing over here, and I looked over just to make sure she didn't win the lottery, and she's just like, no, this Chardonnay is just fantastic.
Yeah, she kind of referred to it as a porch pounder. It's a porch pounder. Yes. We got it. We got it, Chloe. You don't sniff it. You don't swirl it. You don't sip it. You just pound it. That is what this Chardonnay is.
Whatever cup you have,
just pound it.
In the cup.
So that this falls into the porch pounder category because that is so good.
I'm gonna have some more.
Yeah.
I know we're about to go to the Reds.
I know we're gonna go to the Reds here in a second.
A bit more when Montagny is open. I will have some.
Wow, so good. I feel bad that everybody else is not enjoying with us, but you can by ordering at theloadedgrape.com. Picking up your wines. They'll be available Wednesday at 4:00. So definitely, go over to loadedgrape.com. Throw this one in your cart. This is going to drink so well with the turkey. Oh, the buttery. That's not even buttery flavor. It's just that flavor.
You go ahead and say it, mashed potato. This is the mashed potatoes wine.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I'm ready for Thanksgiving already. This is.
It will be my first real Thanksgiving because last year I was out of country, so I can't wait.
Well, there you go. You finally get to.
Finally get to have an American Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, I will.
Yes. Well, wear stretchy pants because that's what we do. Yeah, you don't try to wear jeans that day. That's a day you wear sweatpants or something. Leggings.
It's more of a grazing. You don't eat one time. You just kind of go back and you go back. I mean, that's when the turkey's the best. A couple hours later, you're just picking it off.
Yep.
You know, nobody's looking. Dip it in the gravy. You know, nobody's looking. We're all family. You know, so.
Our families tend to start around 2:00 for dinner, and that way when at 8:00 you do it again.
Because if you drink too much Montigny, you're like Danny. You're not drunk. You haven't had enough to eat.
Go eat. Manja. All right. Well, let's keep the show rolling here, and let's let me get up with the slide.
I think we're ready for the red now.
Yep, I'm going to get TC to open up the reds here for us.
I'm already ahead of you, sir.
You're already
on
there?
TV.
And there's that. Oh, she said the peaches. I guess I didn't go to the slide.
Hazelnut, toasted hazelnut at the end, especially of the palate.
Mm-hmm. And then there it is. Perfect. Look at she said right there. Pair it with the turkey.
It's like rosemary, touch, garlic. I want to try this recipe, like garlic, orange, rosemary, apricot. That seems amazing. I want to do that.
That does sound good. So,
and that was the pre-order.
More
stainless steel.
And that's another reason the price. I mean, this one's a little cheaper, but the oak barrels, as we said, again, you guys, it's all subjective, but that oak barrel, they're trying to coax it. It sits at the winery a little bit longer, so obviously the price is a little bit more, but again, not that total reserve level. But onto the dark side, right?
Onto the dark side. Time to get to what is probably the quintessential Thanksgiving wine you should have no matter what, and that is Pinot Noir. And so let's talk about the Chalanese Pinot Noir, the baby brother, and we'll get to the big brother after that. So
absolutely.
So as we talk about, like, the Pinot Noir is the king of Burgundy, and that one is just so elegant and very easy. Sometimes I'm shocked when people tell me, "Oh, Clay, you know what? I don't like red wine." I say, "How is it possible? You don't like red wine? Have you ever tried some Pinot Noir from Burgundy?" Because I could understand, like, people who said, "Oh, the tannin, very very Cabernet, Merlot, like stronger wine," but come on, a Pinot Noir is just the perfect start. And again, Vigneron de Buxy, the producers, they are the leadership of this appellation, the Bourgogne-Côte-Chalonnaise. Same quality, and regarding, like, the vinification of the wine, it stands still, no hook. I also noticed, I was surprised when I moved to the US. I see a lot of people who like to chill a little bit the red wine, to put on a fridge for a few minutes or a few hours. That one is just the perfect one. Like for summer, of course, and even for Thanksgiving, if you just like your red wine a little chill, that one is the one.
Absolutely.
We talk about that all the time on the show, Chloe, about chilling the reds a little bit by warming up the whites a little bit. We do that constantly. So, we're not we know what we're talking about. You would bring other experts in, and they say the same thing. It just makes you go, "This is why we're your wine people."
Right. Well, and I'll go a step further. oftentimes, sangria is kind of whatever you have, and you just, it's a hodgepodge of stuff. Again, ultimately, you should drink this wine like this. But hey, this is a perfect wine if you want to, again, experiment. Chloe mentioned on the onset about mixology. I mean, hey, to me, I live in the gray. I mean, to me, there is tradition, but I love to see what chefs and mixologists and people come up with. So, this is something that you could almost have as a base for sangria. We haven't got to the price yet, but you can definitely do this as sangria because of the price too. Yeah. So anyway, Chloe, please continue. But like I said, I think this is a perfect little chill on it. It'd be perfect for this.
Yeah, I think, and regarding the aromas, you have a beautiful, like, very soft tannin. So it's more about, like, fruits, blackcurrant, cherry, even raspberry note you can have on that beautiful Pinot.
Very nice.
It is very nice.
Just to get everybody to keep thinking about it, right?
With a nice turkey, like salty turkey with, like, some rosemary again. Wow, I can't wait. I can't wait to.
Are those cranberries or pomegranates? I mean, I could really see either one. I mean, pomegranates would be super exotic, I guess.
Yeah.
But is that cranberry right there? Maybe. Yeah, I could tell. Well, and again, very traditional. Chloe, cranberry sauce is that's it's probably as a staple as the mashed potatoes and the stuffing and everything else. So again, it gives it that acid because let's be honest, you got a lot of rich food. Turkey is good, but it's kind of the canvas in which to put gravy and stuff on. But that cherry or cranberry sauce, guys, and if you want to reduce it, if you guys make your own, which you should, don't just put the ocean spray out of the can, guys. But a little.
You just broke my heart.
Come on.
To me, if it doesn't have rings on it, it's not cranberry sauce.
Now you can do that, but then also for those of you out there that want to, get out and go Martha Stewart on us, throw a little scotch of that in there, and see what you think. But again, ocean spray, you can do that too.
I mean, really, is there any other maker?
You can do it at home.
At home. But besides that, if you're buying it at the store, you're like,
I don't think there's even another brand.
Is there another brand?
They cornered that market.
They have that market.
They have that market.
So, but man, this what I'm going to say about this, and I'm going to kind of bring the screen so we can all be back on the screen here. Is for those who maybe like a Oregon Pinot and trying to think about in their head on where it would be. This is probably, if you're not familiar with French Pinots, I would say it's more Oregon because it's not California. It's not Monterey. It's not Russian River. It is definitely more mellow on the fruit.
It's personified in cool climate. These are cool climate, which Pinot Noir should be. And I know. Carneros, Russian River is cooler compared to California, which is a pretty hot state. It's been on fire for the past few years. But Willamette Valley, that's our slice of Burgundy. And I'm not, while we have somebody from Burgundy going to compare at all Willamette Valley to Burgundy, but I think as Chloe's probably tried some examples, the star isn't the alcohol, so when you come to these cool climates, modest alcohol, and more of these tertiary flavors. Sure, some. The very old school styles can be more that very earthy, but I think these are more modern approach styles. So I think you have fruit, but it's not fruity, right? You have the earth, but it's not earthy. It's a nice mix of both, I think. And if Chloe, you want to talk about that, maybe more modern wine techniques versus maybe some of the old Burgundy producers, which they love that super dirty, earthy flavor, which I love. But obviously, some people, it kind of throws them off and they go, I'm not really sure about that, right?
No, but absolutely. And again, Vigneron de Buxty, they, like as the Montagny or the other wine, like they really try to, I like that expression. They always say, the work, it's not when you drink the wine. It's all about how you care about your grape, how you care about the soil. And the Burgundy, the soil are just so rich and so intense that you don't need after, if your grape is good, if your soil, it's the perfect soil, you don't need to add so much oakiness. You don't need to add sugar on it. Like, it's just the expression of the grape itself, of the Pinot Noir in this specific block area, and it's enough. And it's exactly what they do with that Pinot Noir.
Absolutely. And like you said, when you have this in tanks, this is naked Pinot Noir. This is Pinot Noir saying, hey, I'm waking up in the morning. This is me. My hair's not did. I have no makeup on, right? This love me or leave me. And that's what I love about it. This is the purest form. If you love Pinot Noir from Burgundy, you love it. And again, I know pure and things like that are subjective terms, but I'll go ahead and say it. This is, one of the more purest form. And at the end of the day, guys, this is the birthplace. This is the benchmark. This is the area for millennia that's been curating this grape, and as Chloe said, it is the king. And because of that, and because of the small areas, English aristocrats, Americans, now the Chinese are buying it, and the market's just going up and up and up to the point of, okay, it went past splurge to like, wow, I can't even afford that. And so when you can, like I said, this is something, I want to say it again, unbelievable value. Pinot Noir from Burgundy is not cheap, guys, and this is something. $23 before the discount. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And the other thing, 100% Pinot Noir.
100%. Yeah, we're not mucking with it. They don't do that.
We're not talking about adding in some Syrah or adding in something else. 100% Pinot Noir. You get this beautiful kind of ruby color in the glass,
translucent, see right through it. Yeah.
read a paper right through it. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Finesse, sophistication, like Chloe said, it's like if you drink this and don't like red wine, then you're not invited to my next party. I'm sorry.
This is definitely one. Because I know we're going to go a little higher on the next one, but I'm just saying if you don't want to, definitely grab this bottle at this price. Because even if you come in the shop right now, unless you want a more of a, like say Jamie or Pinot Noir, I price point. I don't. This is going to be very competitive to what I can.
Well, and experiment, guys. I mean, go in the shop, get something from California and Oregon, and hey, I mean New Zealand and Chile. But again, you really can't do a Pinot Noir tasting without throwing Burgundy, and you will find representations that maybe we'll say under a certain price point. But when you shop Burgundy, you'll find really quick. You're like, wow, this is going to take up my whole entire wine budget. So again, this is something, if you're going to maybe do New World Pinot Noirs, start with this and then kind of go into maybe the New World Pinot Noirs. And hey, there's no right or wrong answer. You can really see and taste the difference between the two and see what you think.
Yeah. And I would say, because I would say the other great pairing that we're not doing tonight would be a Beaujolais with turkey and things. But with that said, this is just as good as a Beaujolais, and for probably $10 less than I could even get you into a decent Beaujolais. That's not something that's mass produced and done cheaply. It's something that is very crafty. We're going to be in the neighborhood of $33-$35. So this is for $23. Take advantage of this price, please. Right. Awesome. She's shaking her head as I'm saying it. So I
do. I wish I could have.
She comes from this region. This is, I'm just an American. I mean, what do I know?
Exactly. No, that's it.
And he said, as he went ahead and said the dumb American. So I want to say one of the best expressions I ever had. I had a French winemaker tell me one time. He says, TC, the English, drink their wine too old because they want cellars with cobwebs and stuff. The French, they drink their wine too young, and you Americans, you drink your wine just right because you don't know any better. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go with that. So I think that's a compliment. In the very French, in the very French way,
right.
It is.
The only American that the French really took on to was Benjamin Franklin, right? I think that's the only one.
Well, Jefferson, right?
Jefferson, not as much. Franklin was like a rock star.
He was there. He was there for years.
Franklin was a rock star in France. We're not even. To this day, Franklin has more of a prevalence. Thomas Jefferson just happened to be a Francophile, but Ben Franklin was a rock star. If he was to run for emperor, they probably would have voted him in. They probably would have been like, yeah, let Franklin do it. That's that's it right there. But time to move on. We're gonna move on to our next wine for the night, our last wine of the night. And man, get ready to get your socks knocked off with this one because it is so good. And let me get the
beautiful.
Yeah, go ahead and pour it.
Beautiful. Another 100% Pinot Noir. And I will say the Mercury on the area, so on the Côte Chalanese, it's one of the most famous appellation. As a Montagny, I explained the difference between the high percentages of Premier Cru. It's the same here. You have 1,300 acres of the Mercury on the red side. Oh yeah, because although that very interesting thing with the Mercury, you could have Chardonnay Mercury and Pinot Noir Mercury, but the dominant, it's the red, it's the Pinot. And so inside this, on the map, you can see that the high percentages of Premier Cru, meaning again, high quality of that place and plots that you can see. And yeah, the Mercury, it's the elegance, the finesse of Burgundy. If we compare, I think the two, the Mercury, it will be maybe a little spicier, but still light Pinot, but more, maybe more longer at the end. And just beautiful as at the Côte Chalanese, but more more expression. And really, when someone asks me, okay, Chloe, tell me one Burgundy wine, the first thing you have in mind, I will say the Mercury, because it's a Pinot Noir and because it's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, the first thing to me is perfume, and I guess people can use that term however you want to, but the aromatics on this wine, I think, can't be understated. I mean, to me, smelling this wine, you automatically know. A common analogy I always say, it's like driving a car. You may not know the difference between one or the other, but when you're driving or riding in luxury.
How you feel?
Perfume, it's like walking into like a high-end store on Fifth Avenue, and it's like this perfume almost, like in the women's section.
You're saying they should make a candle out of this?
Well, no, it's not just
Yankee candles.
No, this isn't Yankee. I mean, Yankee Candle's like a regular mall. This is like high-end Saks Fifth Avenue. If Tiffany made a candle, this is a Tiffany candle. Which I think was just bought out by H or whatever LG brands, right? For like $15 billion.
Yeah,
I'm sure they can make some candles. That's our next step, Chloe. We got to reach out to. Was it HG or LG, whatever that company is? I mean, $15 billion. That could probably make a few candles, right? So,
Chloe, you know what happened again? TC did not pour enough of my glass.
Yes.
I feel like
my God, what are you doing?
And I'm in his house too.
In my house, I don't have to drive anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere. He's saving it. I guess he is. Because what happened?
Oh, he's saving for himself. I see.
After this show, we talk about next week's show, and so he's probably saving it for himself as we talk about
these wines. I mean, talk about. It's like going over to someone's house and you see a plate of cookies and you think to yourself, I'm eating half of those, but I can't go in aggressively. So you got to kind of keep rediscovering. Oh, look at that. And you come back through, look at those. So you have to kind of rediscover.
Have you had those cookies yet?
Oh my God. Oh, I have not had those yet. So you got to kind of rediscover, you got to, so like, where the hell the cookies go? And you're like, I have no idea. I had mine, so.
That's what this wine is like. And people are gonna be like, "Oh, I'll just take a little. Oh, let me get back to a little bit more. So where I'll say exactly what you said and kind of reiterate to the folks watching, the spice definitely comes through more on this one than the other one. The fruits are still there, but the spice and the description on the screen right now is right there. That little bit of leather, but there's a great balance and structure to this wine that just man.
Well, I mean, to quote Ron Burgundy, high-end leather mahogany. I mean, again, that's. I mean, this wine's classic. Let's go ahead and say classic. This is a very, very classy wine. Guys. You're going to be wearing a tweed jacket with like elbow patches in no time. I mean, this is a beautiful wine. And one thing I'll mention, great now, but Chloe, if you want to touch on what's pound for pound one of the best areas in which to age wine. I mean, Burgundy, right? I mean, you talk about some of the best ageable wines out there, Burgundy. And for the prices tonight, guys, so if you want to buy 2 or 3 bottles to drink now and maybe throw a bottle away, if you want to touch on maybe the Mercury or the Montigny, how well they'll age maybe in people's cellar.
Absolutely. And also a little difference between the other one, it's also the oak barrel that they use for the Mercury, but never over oaked. I will say it's no more than 12 months. Again, depend on the vintage. But again, because we don't need it, because the terroir itself, it's enough. The grape, the Pinot Noir, and the soil, it's enough to just create a beautiful juice.
Absolutely.
Are they neutral barrels or are they new oak or?
Depend. I will say they have both, and again, depend of the vintage they use. So definitely they use both. Depends.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't have, to me, this is more probably neutral because I don't get a lot.
We don't have a lot.
Not in this glass. Not with the one. It was a 2017.
Well, I think that oak. I mean, the spices, the leather. I mean, I think that's the oak right there. I mean, it just kind of coaxes that little nuance out there. And like I said, this is just a absolutely beautiful, spot on Pinot Noir. And to me, if you're going to blind test, taste people, and you want to go down that route, you need to find appellations that are curators of the grape. Don't find a Chilean Pinot Noir and try to blind test people, but find a Burgundy and you're like, hey, this is the representation. Let's try to master this first, and then we'll kind of go off. So this is a great place to start. And Danny, I don't know if we talked about price yet.
Yeah, let me bring this back out.
Even though this is the Big Brother, this is not the Big Brother price. So.
No, it is not the Big Brother price. Get ready. Here it comes.
I'm rediscovering it.
$28 down from 30.
Under $30.
Under 30.
I thought you were going to say 30. I mean,
Under 30 plus your wine club discounts. I am beating the internet on this price. Totally beating the internet on this price. That's what we do. That's what we do on Virtual Vines. We beat up the internet. That's what we do.
And we can ship up to DC, Chloe. So if you know some folks, you're like, I can't even give you guys the wine for this price. If you know some folks, let them know. I think UPS, are you shipping to DC now or right around there maybe? 29 states and provinces and territories, I think. So.
Yeah. So Mercury is one of the most expensive wines we drank near the steps of the Basilica.
Nice in Montmartre. Wow, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you get the paintings drawn.
Nice memory.
I love that part.
And I guarantee at $28, Alita knows that's a great price. Knows it's a great price. So, that's there you go. So
she knows where her butter's bred.
Yeah, she does.
This is something. I mean, when you're drinking a bottle of Mercury, in Sacre Coeur, I mean, that's brownie points right there. You're a true Francophile right there.
That is true.
And bread and cheese, and you're all set.
You're all set.
Yeah, so we got this down $28. If you go you're on loadedgrape.com and you're ready to check out, go make sure you use your coupon code if you are in the clubs: Cellar for Cellar, Estate for Estate Club, a Reserve for Reserve and Grand Reserve Club, and we'll get your discounts on top of that, which for those folks that are in the Reserve Club, take advantage of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy discount for you guys as well. But
cool.
I know we have a couple more slides here. I feel like I need to, I feel like there's a couple more.
I think maybe just nice aromas and the nice pictures with one turkey, but I think with a pie. Absolutely. I saw that recipe, like the pictures and the recipe of that pie. Oh, that seems amazing. With cinnamon, like the spice of cinnamon with the mercury.
Oh, you're right. You're right with cinnamon flavors. Oh,
yeah,
like the apple pie.
Yeah, that kind of that nutmeg, cinnamon kind of a thing. I could definitely see that.
I want to know how they made all those little roses. Like that's incredible.
That's why they get paid the big bucks.
I guess so. I mean, I watched the Great British Bake Off bake show, and they don't come out with stuff like that. That's crazy. Man, that's Paul Holly would probably be loving on that. So, and then I know you can follow Chloe Henry's here at French.Tours on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Instagram, exactly. Yes, we try again through the pandemic. We try to show you mainly the aromas that you can find on the wine and nice recipe, cocktail. My next thing is about cheese. I would love to show every wine and a type of cheese. So that's my next.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. Like
a little fromage for me is all the better.
Well, next time you're here, I'm kind of known for my charcuterie board, so I will put one together for you.
Let's do that.
And we'll pull this Mercury out and
Sounds a perfect plan.
Yes,
awesome.
Perfect.
Well, Chloe, thank you so much for all that you do and the wines. And I mean, that was a fantastic PowerPoint. I had to do one recently, and it did not look anywhere near as professional as that. So that looked fantastic.
This was the first week I didn't have to put one together, so this was great. This is awesome. I thought it was, now
thank you so much.
That's a pretty high bar right there.
So we have next week we have Alberto Moro from Amelia Moro Winery. So I need to send him your presentation and say, hey, this is what it needs to look like.
Yeah.
It's gonna make him very nervous, but yeah. But
Chloe, yeah, I mean,
we don't want to take any more time.
Once this mess gets straightened out, we'd love to have you back down in the Tar Heel State. We want to have you, especially in the shop, do at least a tasting, maybe not something more elaborate, if we have the time. And again, congratulations again to your nuptials. I know it's been a crazy year. But, between, I had a little baby, you got married, the show's doing great. These guys got voted best wine shop in Greensboro, like second year in a row.
Wow.
Actually, Guilford County, which is
congratulations. Yes. We need to be positive. That's true.
Silver linings that, hey, if you look close enough, you can find the silver linings in 2020. So, hey, that's why we have great Pinot Noir. But thank you so much, Chloe.
I wish I could do the same. Please enjoy the bottle. Thank you so much for your time. And I can't wait to see your other shows. Like the champagne seems super amazing too. Like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Please tune in, join us. Yeah, we have a lot of fun on Monday nights, and again, folks, like we just talked about really quickly, next week is Emilia Mora. We're going to go to Spain, so we went, France to Spain. So we're global. We're global, and then we go to California. So it's kind of like we're going to go back over here. So it's, but we want to make sure that we get all the great wines out for this holiday season, and that you get great prices,
locally sourced, globally inspired.
Yeah, there you go.
That.
Now I like that. Maybe that'd be our new tagline. We're going to do a quick recap, but I'm going to let you go so you can get back to your family and
thank you.
So I'm telling you, we might have to do this again because I think folks.
Well, there's a couple wines. I mean, once we get inventory, I mean, there's a couple other wines that these guys do. And maybe by the next time we have her on, a couple new vintages, so we can talk maybe the comparison between what folks maybe bought tonight and some of the other stuff. But again, guys, everything tonight under $30 from Burgundy. I mean, I'm sorry, I will challenge any place out there to give you 5 wines from Burgundy under $30. I mean, that's the Pepsi challenge. That's
Pepsi challenge.
That's the Pepsi challenge.
That's the Pepsi challenge. We did it. This is why at Virtual Vines we talk about finding great wines at great prices and passing it along to folks and beating up on the internet pricing. And we've done it. So Chloe, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, and really educating us on a region that I think it's overlooked, right? When we talk about French wines, I think it tends to.
You have to demystify. It's like chess. It takes a minute to learn. It's Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, but it takes a lifetime to master. As she said, appellations, all sub-appellations, monopoles. It's crazy, even though it says Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So again, at the end of the day, Burgundy is a great place to kind of go down the rabbit hole, because at the end of the day, it's one of those where the more you know, the more you don't know, kind of a place. But love Burgundy. But these are wines. Live like a king without paying the king's ransom, I said. So anyway, again, thank you so much again, Chloe.
Thank you so much for your great energy, and let's see you very soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa, for that comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful evening. See you soon.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Au revoir. Oh yeah, next time only in French. To make sure you're, the culture.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to study up. I'm on the Ferré-Jacques level, I'm on like the Ferré-Jacques, that's about as much. I'm on the pre-K level. That's where I'm at.
Just say ooh la la.
Ooh la la, exactly. That's the only word you need. And Jacques for wine. That's it.
Awesome.
All right. Good evening. See you.
Good night.
Thank you. All right. Wow. What a
That's
night.
A great show.
Wow. What a show. Holy moly. Amazing wines. We're going to do a quick little run through here for you. Again, all these are going to be available at theloadedgrape.com. We started off with a lovely brut sparkling wine from Bally Lapierre.
By Lapierre,
Lapierre,
which means stone. I didn't know that.
Which mean, and then the stones, which they created the cellars, and then Notre Dame. I mean, how do you're like,
Notre Dame, no big deal.
What do we do with these stones? Oh, we built a cathedral.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what
no
you
big
do.
Deal.
That's what you do.
Like 800 years ago.
Yeah, and I will tell you, for $18 plus your discount, I would be hard pressed to find.
No.
I don't know.
That's
not champagne. That's not from Champagne.
Yeah. But it's Method Champenois.
Method Champenois.
The same grapes, just south of there, as Chloe said. I mean, it's like Carolina Duke. I mean, whenever I talk to someone from Champagne or someone from Burgundy, and that's why I was trying to get her to maybe show that rivalry a little bit more when I said that, because because they grow the same grapes, and Champagne often, the reason Champagne's even what it was is because it's a little bit colder. They're further north than quote unquote Burgundy, so the wines would re-ferment, and for years they thought it was a default. So for years they would throw away all the sparkling wine, and until Champagne says, well, this is the wine of us, and Burgundy says, well, wait a minute, we can do that too. But guess what? They don't have the cachet. But hey, guess what? It's like buying the best house in the I don't know, what is it? The word is the cheapest house,
That's
the best
the best
neighborhood,
neighborhood.
whatever that
Yeah.
analogy is.
Yeah.
This is literally that. You know, you can live right next to that, and like I said, live like a king and not pay a king's ransom. And if you want to make a Kir Royale mimosa, she mentioned rosemary. I thought that was cool. Thyme,
and
maybe like a little thyme or something in there. Maybe a little
Yeah.
elderflower for people out there that Saint Germain.
That would
Yep.
be
Maybe
so
some Saint
fresh.
Germain and
Yeah.
thyme.
Wow.
Kind of fun.
Then we went straight to the Cremant Rosé, and a great price on that as well, because the prices sometimes when you start getting to the rosé goes way up. This great price, $23. So it is a little bit more, but not out of the budget to bring in. I'm telling you, the
Blueberry, she said too.
blueberry notes on that, the berry notes mixed with the apple notes just made it so delicious.
I mean, the bubbles, but then also again, aesthetically pleasing, guys. This is the time of year.
Oh,
That beside a poinsettia and, like you said, a candy cane and a
Yes.
pitch. I mean, if that doesn't get 100 likes on Instagram,
Yeah.
I don't know what will.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
come
yeah.
on.
Yeah, your Instagram will go up way just by putting a candy cane on that. People are like, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" It's not even a poinsettia. You didn't even have to put cranberry juice into a sparkling.
Yeah.
It is there. It's already there. It's got beautiful color. So great price on that. And then we have a pre-sale on the. I gotta read that. Okay, hold on one second. I have a pre-sale on the. Why is that not happening? Oh, no, okay. There's pre-order on the Sauvignon Blanc. Again, this is kind of like right near Sincere, so you're getting these...
much more minerality, more flint. I mean, it's not grapefruit to the 11th power.
No,
And not quite as much melon and guava. We've done the Honigs before.
Yeah.
You know, not quite as much of that tropical fruit flavor. But you know, when I think of that Sombrie, certainly a little bit of grapefruit, but more of that minerality, that struck flint, crisp, clean. You know, God, I mean, as you said, I mean, that is an oyster. You should be eating some oysters with that wine right there.
yeah, definitely oysters, seafood, any white meat, and again, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. That it will go.
Probably
with
some
those.
Brussels sprouts, a little balsamic drizzle on top of that.
Oh man, now you're talking.
Maybe some bacon bits, just.
I just saw bacon wrapped Brussels on Pinterest.
Oh,
And then we
charcuterie right
went. We have two Chardonnays. Again, if this is something we have the
the Côte de Chalanese. I think we have just a little bit of that. It's really a pre-order, guys.
Pre-order.
It's a pre-order. I mean, we have such a little inventory. We're basically not even considering it. But if you do want to, we can try to order some. Same thing with the Sombrie. But just let these guys know. We'll probably after Thanksgiving time. But guys, as a Chardonnay, the difference between the two was the unoaked for the Chalanese, and then the Montigny, which has a little bit of a little more nuance to it.
But I'll also say, so either of those, I again, the pre-order on the first one, I have it up on the website. So if you want to order the same
Not the
breeze,
second one. But we'll put it up there.
you can order that. It's pre-order. It will come in when and I'll let you know when it comes in. The second one, which being the the Chalanese
Yep.
Chardonnay, the Côte de Chalanese Chardonnay. That's $20. Plus your discounts, and again the same thing. I'll let you know once it comes in. In early December.
I'm going to say if you buy any of the Montigny, it's going to kind of spoil you because I mean the Chalanese is fantastic, but the Montigny just has that extra little it factor to it. But hey, I will say for those that just absolutely love unoaked wine, unoaked stainless steel Chardonnay, that's the one to go to.
Yeah, and then we went to there's the Montigny, and then we went to the. Oh, no, we already did that. Hold on. I keep on clicking let me get over here. There we go. Show it. Okay. There it is. Now it's up on screen. Then we went to the Chalanese Pinot Noir.
Again,
delicious.
no
oak, stainless steel, beautiful cherry notes. Just an excellent wine for $23. And like I said, if you're looking for something to pair with your Thanksgiving meal, this is the quintessential pairing right here. And for the price minus your discount, I cannot pick you a better bottle off the shelf.
You put it on the table, it'll get gone very quickly.
It's gonna go quick, and everybody's gonna be like, "Is there more of that?" And you're gonna go, "Ooh."
As Chloe said, put a little chill on it, maybe throw it in the fridge.
Yeah.
You know, not for like a crazy long time, but maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. Just get a little chill on it. break it out, and get a couple little sweat beads on the side, and that's why it's going to be fantastic.
Perfect. And then the big brother, the Mercury at $28, which getting that under 30 is a deal. Getting it at 28 plus discounts, if you're in the wine club, is
getting more of that leather now, more of that spice.
The spice and the leather. I'm so glad. Yeah, and the perfume. And again, I'll say this: sometimes when I drink some French Pinot Noirs, it tends to be more, I would say, barnyard. The best drink. These are not that.
Super earthy, super acidic.
Yeah.
Almost kind of tannic. I mean, and that's why I kind of wanted her to touch on the new versus old world stock, because you got growers that have been doing it for centuries that are very stubborn, and they make their wine very acidic, very tannic. And guess what? They make their wine for them and the 100 disciples that buy their wines. But guess what? The other people that go, on their wines, God, you need a little bit of both. I mean, hey, I like acid, but you need the balance with the pH as well. And this is the wine that I think it's got the fruit without being too fruity and the earth without being too earthy. It's perfect wine. And
then I also want to remind everybody that also on the website is your chance to sign up for the champagne tasting that we're doing on December 13th. There's 3 sessions, a 12 to 2, a 2 to 4, a 4 to 6. And so there's 2 options of flights that you can do. And that is kind of our regular flight of champagne, which for if you're non-wine club members, 30, for wine clubs, 25. And that gets you kind of decently priced,
like four
Chardonnays that are short champagnes that
Blanc
are
Noir or Blanc de Blanc,
Blanc de Blancs and but really, great. The Nicolas Fuente, which is probably like the most poured champagne in France. The Tattinger's in that regular one, and then we get to an option of doing a reserve level tasting of champagne, and that one has Ruinart and
the Paul Roger, which that was Winston Churchill's wine.
Winston Churchill's that was his. It has the Dom Perignon in that one as well. So no, this is all me. So you're gonna enjoy me.
But TC, I mean, hey,
TC might stop by.
I might stop by because those bottles. I mean, TC knows when champagne's open, and hey, you don't have to tell me twice.
TC might be stopping by for a little bit, but to hang out and enjoy some of those. But and that reserved level tasting is 60 for non-members, 55 for members. Which at 55 to start getting Dom Perignon and Paul Roger and Ruinart.
Not cheap wines.
Yeah, no, we're
not cheap wines.
And the Bollinger in there as well.
Yeah.
So yes, and then again on the other one, which would be Moet and Chandon, and then the Tattinger, the Nicolas Fuente, and I feel like I'm missing one more. Why am I missing one more? It's on the website. It's all on the website. I'm telling you right now. They're all XLX wines, and for both price. And if you want to do both, you can do both. That's fine. But what we'll say is, you have that kind of like an hour and 45-minute time block. So if you want to have a glass of something, we'll allow that to happen. But we just need to make sure we flip the tables for the next group coming in. So just know that. So you can hang out for a little bit after your tasting, but we got by 2 o'clock, I gotta, or by 4 o'clock, you gotta.
You don't have to leave. You don't have to go home, but you can't
stay here. But that and that's limited to 18 people per time slot. So really, that's 36 for 52 people. That's not. We're not talking about a lot of people being able to do that tasting. So, but if that's something you want to do, definitely hop on it and reserve your spot and your time slot, and we'll get you in there. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, next week we head to Spain.
Yeah, right? Ribera del Duero. I mean, one of my favorite areas, guys. I know we've done Rioja, we've done some Toro in the wine club, the Alvarez. And I think about a year and a half ago, we had Alberto in the shop. So new vintages, guys.
The photo. Hold on, I can bring up a photo. Hold on, I'm gonna bring up a photo
using technology.
I'm gonna use technology here.
Look at him. But hey, fantastic wines.
Yep.
A couple new wines, maybe a reserve wine option in there.
Yep.
But you got to tune in.
Oh, hold on. You know what?
You can't bury the lead, right?
Oh, what? Wait, did you say new wines?
New
Did you say
wines.
what?
New
Wait,
wines. Brand new wines. Wines that nobody's ever heard of.
What? Stuff that you might be like, oh, I
Not in
didn't
the
know.
Triad anywhere.
Not in the Triad
No
anywhere,
one else
but
has
at
it?
the Loaded Grape.
No one else has it.
I got that. Yes, and that is right here. The Il Zarzel, and this is a Godello, yes. And so you might remember we did one of these in our wine club.
It just blew it out.
Blew it out. God. People loved it. It's very close to a Chardonnay, but not really a Chardonnay. And I'm telling you right now, we have a great price on this, and it's going to get better next week when we do the show. So definitely, but very limited quantities.
Well, all the Spanish people I know in the wine world, they're very bullish. I can say that term, very bullish on Godello. I mean, Albarino does what it does. Verdejo kind of is in there, and you have some other obscure varietals, but Godello seems to be the varietal that people are trying to hang there. I mean, Victor mentioned it about a month ago. I know Alberto will talk more about it. The Godello guys, I mean, if you want to be, drink the bottle now, and then you read about it in Spectator three years from now, this will be the show.
This is the one. Everybody's gonna be like, yeah, I've been drinking since 2020. I've been drinking since, it was a pandemic wine for me. Everybody else is gonna be like, man, are you drinking this? Yeah. So, but yes, right now we're the only people in the Triad with this in a very limited supply of this.
An old vine Godello too, but again,
we bury the lead. Old vine. Yeah. Do we have to go in? I know. God. But I can tell you also, because some people might remember, because we did it in the wine club, and we do have the Tempranillo as well that will be in the show, in the 2017 vintage of it. And I'm telling you right now, one of my favorite Tempranillos that we've ever done, and also ever put in the wine club. So, folks, next week you don't want to miss out, because it is going to be a stellar show, and it is going to have some stellar pricing. And for those folks that know the deals that you get, the over-delivering price of Spanish wine,
and in often cases delivering sometimes,
delivering
to the door. I mean, hey,
so
again,
we'll deliver.
Shop locally, think globally. I think we're onto something. I think we're onto something. With that saying right there. So.
It is there.
Anyway, guys, I know we're
right there.
I promise we always try to make these shows an hour, and you guys know us. We're going to go about 20-30 minutes after that. But thank you for we got some diehards out there, but thank you guys for watching. But well, guess what? For people that buy, I can tell when Danny orders the wine, I can tell people are going back and rewatching the show. So again, tell your friends, tell your family. We got this on YouTube now. I mean, the other day I Googled one of the wines we were going to do. The first thing that came up, Loaded Grape. I'm saying, guys, we're getting the focus. We're getting the algorithms.
The algorithms are hitting. I'm getting comments from people on Instagram that I'm like,
from different states. You're just like
different states. I mean, different countries. People are like, this is great, and I'm like, okay, I'm hearting it and everything. And but yeah, we me and TC stumbled on something here with Virtual Vines.
We'll ship to Kazakhstan. Borat's out of the world. If you're out there,
Borat,
I know we're a few time zones.
We'll get there. Awesome. Yep. But so thank you so much for tuning in. Again, next week we're going to go to Spain with Emilio Moro. Same Batman channel, same
Thanksgiving dinners, which are are we sold out?
So Thursday starts our first Thanksgiving dinner. That's completely sold out. I have 4 spots. That's it, 4 for the 19th. So if that's something you want, get into the shop and reserve that spot, those 4 spots or 2 spots or whatever you need, or on the website tonight. There's 4 spots for the 19th. The other one's sold out. So, which I don't expect by the end of this week to have 4 spots left. It's just how it is. These things sell out, and beer, wine, dinner. I will say we're doing 5 courses paired with a beer and a wine. There's another local place doing one as well, and it's 4 courses, and you have your choice of beer or wine.
Somebody else is doing this?
Yeah, but so our cost for non-members,
we'll talk off camera about this.
We're talking off camera.
First time hearing about this.
But our price, $60 for non-members, $55 for members. This other place is doing it for $100+
for 10,
person.
but you get 10 beverages. And guess what, guys? All you gotta do is show the puppy eyes to one of these, and guess what? You might get a little. I mean, if the bottle's open, hey, the bottle's open.
Scotch more. It
You know?
happens. It happens. Scotiamore happens. But there's only 4 spots left on the 19th. So if you want that, hop on it ASAP. Because if not, that is going to sell out again. Probably tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow will probably be sold
gone,
out. If not, there might be people who eat on Thursday going, I'm coming back and doing this next Thursday because that's how good the food is. And the pairings are absolutely out of the world. I cannot wait for the deep fry.
Barbara, can't wait to see you either. Barb,
Barb, can't wait to see you on Thursday. All right, we're gonna sign off now. We were
guys,
right there.
thank
We're
you
there,
so much.
so.
Appreciate everything. Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Bubbles, Thanksgiving wine, under $30, loaded grape. Those are the cliff notes, right?
That's cliff notes.
Those
That
are
was
the
the
cliff
show.
notes.
That was
That's
the
the
show.
show.
Go to loadedgrape.com to purchase, and don't wait, because what happens when folks wait, I don't have the wines in the shop because I didn't order enough from TC. So don't wait. If you want these wines, get on it. Get me the order now. Let me know, because if you wait and come in, you can wait till Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't guarantee them. I can't guarantee them. And so get on it now. So thanks so much and have a wonderful night.
Guys, thanks so much. Be safe.